What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Nash here. Welcome back to the channel. Now, before we get started with today's video, the road to 200 subs has now come to a close, and we're now on the road to 500 subs. Who knows? Maybe we might hit 500 subs by the end of the summer. Only time will tell. But as I have said in previous videos, if this channel does get to 500 subs, I will open up this Korean LOB booster box in its entirety on the channel that I got from my partners at Collector Store. So be sure to check them out. Link and address will be in the description below. By checking them out, not only does it support them, it also supports the channel, and I would greatly appreciate it. On the hopes to potentially pull a Blue Eyes White Dragon, a Dark Magician, a Red Eyes Black Dragon, a piece of Exodia, Monster Reborn, Pot of Greed. The possibilities are out there. However, if this channel gets to 1,000 subs, I will open up this first edition Toon Chaos box in its entirety on the channel that I also got from my partners at Collector Store, on the hopes to potentially pull a collector's rare out of this set, much similar to what I pulled out of my Genesis Impact box that I opened up last year, which is obviously this beautiful B-Cop from the Underworld. This thing looks absolutely beautiful, you guys. The centering on the back is a bit off from top to bottom, but honestly, it really doesn't make much of a damn, because I am going to be getting this card graded, but I never came up with a good opportunity to do so. And also, with all the new Dark Base decks that are going to be coming out into the format, this card is definitely worth picking up. So definitely pick yourself up a few copies of this card before they go up in price. But again, for me, I am going to be getting my copy graded, but I never came up with a good opportunity to do so. Excuse me. But with that being said, if you guys want to see those boxes get opened, maybe you guys want more episodes of WWE's Biggest Issue. Maybe you guys want more episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh's Biggest Issue, deck profiles, card discussions, WWE topic videos, or maybe, just maybe, you guys want some premium live event predictions and results. Well, if you guys want all of that and more, my channel is the place to be. So if you guys are new to the channel, and I know that a lot of you guys are, because more than 80% of you guys are watching the content, but you guys aren't even subscribed. And to top it all off, we got to get more women to watch the content as well. So if you guys are watching the content, you like the content, and you want more of the content, but you guys have not subscribed yet, then make sure you guys do indeed subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, smash that thumbs up button on this video, and as always, make sure you guys are following me on all my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And I want you guys to post in the comments below answering the question of the day, which is this. I'm on the card as it sits now. What are your guys' predictions for NXT Stand and Deliver, and which match are you looking forward to seeing the most? Let me know down in the comments below. And for today's video, it is prediction season, this time for NXT Stand and Deliver. Obviously, yesterday we worked on WrestleMania. Now we are working with NXT Stand and Deliver, and this is probably one of, if not the most stacked Stand and Deliver card we have had in quite some time. In fact, I think the last time we had a card this stacked, I think it was, what, 2021? When they did NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Well, back when it was inside the Capitol Wrestling Center, which that was like an old thing from way back in the day. But think about this. If you compare NXT from back then to now, a lot has changed. A lot has changed. I mean, think about this, right? The NXT title and the NXT Women's title both have had some major changes to their design, and not only that, but we used to have the NXT Women's Tag Team titles before they were unified by Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler when they were tag team champions, and not only that, the talent that's in NXT now compared to the talent that we had back then is absolutely impalpable. I mean, back then you had guys like Adam Cole, Bebe. You had guys like Kyle O'Reilly. You had guys like Samoa Joe, Karrion Kross, women like Io Sky and Raquel Rodriguez. Now you've got women like Kalani Jordan, Roxanne Perez, guys like Axiom and Nathan Fraser, and guys like Tony D'Angelo. Think about that. It's absolutely wild. It is absolutely wild. So with that being said, let's get straight into it. Kicking these off, we have what they are now calling it as the Countdown Show, which is basically their kickoff show, if you will. That was announced for the Countdown Show, as Joe Gacy will do battle with Shawn Spears in a rivalry that actually just recently started last week, yeah, when Shawn Spears did battle I think with Dijak, and Joe Gacy ended up snagging Shawn Spears' favorite friend, his best friend, I guess if you will. I was gonna say it in a different way, but that would sound a little too weird. His, I guess, best friend, if you will, which was obviously the steel chair, and Joe Gacy snagged it, and then just last night on NXT, Joe Gacy was set to do battle with the NXT North American Champion Obafemi, but Shawn Spears had other ideas, and it forced the referee to stop the match, giving the victory to Obafemi. And now this. Here's the thing. This is Shawn Spears' first NXT PLE in quite some time. And the last time we saw him in WWE, it was all the way back in 2020, I want to say? Yeah, it was like right around 2020, where he ended up getting released because of the budget cuts, which honestly I don't blame WWE. At the same time, Spears was one of those guys who, he was a top tier talent, but he wasn't being used. So in a way, it made sense, but at the same time, it's like you have potential. You have a guy who can potentially take WWE to heights never thought possible. Never thought possible. And they didn't even, and they barely even used the guy. And now that he's back on NXT, he's literally on one of NXT's biggest stages possible, and it's his stand and deliver debut, his first NXT PLE in years. In fact, I think the last one was 2017 NXT Takeover San Antonio. So that literally says a lot. That says a lot. But here's the thing. Aside from that one loss to Dijak, Shawn Spears has been on a huge roll as of late. But this rivalry, at this point, it really doesn't matter who wins at Stand and Deliver on Saturday. I think no matter what, the biggest thing that we could potentially see is this rivalry going beyond just business. Because right now, that's all this is. It's just purely business. It can get personal right quick. But I am putting my money on Shawn Spears only because of the fact that Gacy has had quite a few losses under his belt, and there's no and at this stage, on this stage that is NXT stand and deliver, there is no shot that Gacy wins. So my money is on Shawn Spears. Next up, we have a 6-woman tag match between the team of Fallon Henley, Thea Hale, and Kalani Jordan against JC Jane, Kiana James, and Izzy Dame. Think about this. Think about this. JC Jane was a part of Chase U, and the reason why was because she needed to upgrade herself, if you will, in the ring, and for the most part, she did. She literally did, and even so, she helped regain Thea Hale's confidence after losing the chance to become NXT Women's Champion last year. So in a way, yes, we do have JC to thank. At the same time, at the same time, the last several months or so, Thea Hale hadn't been herself because of JC, and now with James and Izzy Dame and Kalani Jordan and Fallon Henley now in the mix, this is gonna be an all-out fight. But I got to admit, this is gonna be a bit of an interesting one because for Thea Hale, this is a year in the making. Thea Hale has been with NXT for a little over a year and a half now, and she's been on a huge roll. She's been on a roll. She's sprung up quite the batch of matches, quite the batch of wins, but has a small handful of losses as well. So she's got a lot of potential, but this is her chance to prove to the entire world that she can go at it on her own, even with Fallon Henley and Kalani Jordan as her tag team partners on Saturday. But knowing JC's team, they're gonna try and find a way to scoop up the victory, which honestly, my money is definitely on JC's team. I think with the addition of Jasmine Nix, yeah, I can guarantee you that the numbers game are definitely going to catch up, hands down. Speaking of numbers, we've got the NXT North American title defended as Obafemi will do battle with both Dijak and Josh Briggs. This is going to be a this is going to be the clear case of big meaty men slapping meat. I can guarantee you that right now. Yes, that was a joke. Yes, it's still funny. And yes, shout out to Big E. Because when it comes to superstars in the ring, you can never go wrong with big meaty men slapping meat. Bad joke for saying it. I get it, but that's just how things are. But with that being said, aside from that joke, you have three big dudes who want to who want to be champion. For Obafemi, he's doing this because it's fate. It's his fate to defend the title against all comers. For Briggs, it's all about proving to not just to Hall of Famer JBL, but to the entire world that he has what it takes to be a singles champion. And he's been champion, he's had some singles success when he was competing on the independent scene, but in NXT, the only success that he ever had was becoming NXT UK Tag Team Champion alongside Brooks Jensen. But for Dijak, this is 7 years in the making. For Dijak, this is a match 7 years in the making, because Dijak even said it best that he has been with NXT, he's been with WWE for the last 7 years. So think about this. We're in 2024, 2023, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17. So he's been with NXT since 2017. 7 years. Think about that. Since 2017, when he was still training at the Performance Center. Think about that. It's crazy. It is absolutely crazy. So it comes down to who wants him more, Oba, Dijak, or Briggs. Honestly, don't get me wrong. Oba Femi had is gonna have quite the career on his hands as Briggs. Briggs is also gonna have quite the interesting career, in his hands. But Dijak needs this. He needs this more than anything else. And I feel like that if he loses at Stand and Deliver, I don't think he's ever gonna get a shot at a championship again. It would probably take him years, even if he got called back up to the main roster. It'll take him a long time before he can get his hands on another title opportunity. So my money is on Dijak. But speaking of title opportunities, this one is literally a year in the making. Lyra Valkyria, Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's title. Originally, this was supposed to have been one-on-one at Vengeance Day, but because that Lola Vice cashed in her breakout tournament contract, it was not meant to be. And well, Roxanne Perez ended up turning heel, and that leads to this Saturday. Don't get me wrong, Roxanne Perez turning heel, I'm okay with it, but it's more of the old saying. It's more of the old saying that Triple H once used in Evolution: adapt or perish. And Roxanne Perez, well, she adapted and basically acquired a brand new attitude, and now she's desperate to become NXT Women's Champion. Just like with Dijak, excuse me, this is going to be Roxanne Perez's potentially last shot to become NXT Women's Champion. Now think about this. Last year at Roadblock, Roxanne Perez defended the NXT Women's title against Meiko Satomura, and she suddenly collapsed. She was medically she was cleared. She was cleared to compete, but only if she was able to tolerate the pain. And she tolerated it at Stand and Deliver last year when it was here in my hometown of LA in a ladder match, and Indy Hartwell took it. Indy Hartwell became the new NXT Women's Champion, and Roxanne Perez blamed Indy Hartwell for her loss at Stand and Deliver. But the reality is that Roxanne's got no one to blame but herself. Lyra is right. She has no one to blame but herself. And even after Stand and Deliver, she had multiple opportunities at the NXT Women's title, and she failed. this is going to be Roxanne's potential last chance to regain the title, because there's been a lot of rumors that Roxanne Perez could end up on the main roster, potentially as soon as after Clash of the Castle, which we found out is going to take place at the Hydro in Glasgow, Scotland, which honestly I'm excited for. I am excited for Clash at the Castle. It's gonna be one hell of a show. Can't wait for that. But honestly, it's not that Roxanne Perez has anything to prove. It's more of the opposite. It's more of the fact that Lyra Valkyria has to prove to the entire world that her approval from Becky Lynch wasn't all talk. It wasn't all talk. It was all fact. And if Lyra Valkyria can somehow retain the NXT Women's title, then in my honest opinion, I feel like as if that Lyra Valkyria could potentially go down in history as one of the greatest NXT Women's Champions we've had in a very long time. But if Roxanne Perez wins, at this point there's no telling what can happen to Lyra Valkyria. But I can tell you that Roxanne Perez, she'll be happy. But this is her last chance, and she's gonna be as dangerous can get. But even with a broken wing, I think Lyra Valkyria can pull it off. So my money is on Lyra. But next up, we have what is going to be the main event for NXT Stand and Deliver. And I feel like that this is DIY all over again. Only this time you got the Trick and Mello gang. Trick Williams, Carmelo Hayes, a rivalry that has gone so personal. And this dates back to last year, right after No Mercy. Because if you guys remember at No Mercy, Trick Williams defeated Dominic Mysterio to become NXT North American Champion. He ends up losing the title 2 days later to Dom, and randomly he gets put in the picture for the NXT title. And Mello, we didn't know who attacked Trick that night back in October on the 17th. But funny enough, a lot of the fans, myself included, had an idea, and it was Carmelo Hayes, and our theories were right. It was Mello, and now it's boiled down to this. The way I see it, this is DIY all over again. Only this time this isn't an unsanctioned match, unfortunately, but excuse me. But think about this. Trick and Mello, they were the talk of the entire NXT universe for the last 3 years. 3 years. And now, you fast forward to now and look what's happened. Look at what's happened since then. Mello is a 2-time North American champion. He's a former NXT champion. And alongside Trick Williams, he's also a Dusty Cup runner-up, which honestly, that right there is an honor on its own. But this is a match that neither man can afford to lose, because if one does lose, there's no telling what can happen next. At this point, the person that loses is going to lose all credibility not just as a person, but as a performer as well. So, who wins? Who wins? Honestly, crazy enough, the odds-on favorite is Trick Williams. But if we're thinking logically, obviously the victory should go to Melo. But my money is on Trick. I think Trick has the credibility to defeat to defeat Melo and potentially put himself back into the NXT title picture, because funny enough, Melo is now technically a part of the SmackDown brand, alongside Baron Corbin, but we don't know how much longer Carmelo Hayes will have in NXT. So I think a loss here at Stand and Deliver would really cap off an incredible run in NXT, which would give Trick Williams leeway to put himself back into the picture of the NXT title. But we'll have to wait and see. But for now, my money is on Trick. And speaking of Braun Breaker, we have the Wolf Dogs, Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, defending the NXT Tag Team titles against Axiom and Nathan Frazer, who won the triple threat against both the OC and the LWO. Hell of a triple threat. This is going to be nasty because you have two teams, one who just never slows down, and you have a team who is all power, or as Booker T would say, no bread, no water, just meat. And yeah, that's pretty much that. Crazy enough with Braun Breaker now a part of the SmackDown brand, one could assume that this might be Braun Breaker's last match in NXT, and honestly, I think it is. As crazy as it sounds, I think it is, and I also believe that we could also see Baron Corbin turn heel on Breaker if they lose the tag team titles to Axiom and Frazer, which honestly, as much respect as I do have for both Braun Breaker and Baron Corbin, I think we're gonna see new NXT tag team champions. So my money is on Axiom and Frazer, which then brings us to the NXT title between Ilya Dragunov and Tony D'Angelo, and this is a very interesting matchup because you have two guys who are men of honor, men of respect, men of integrity, but this is a match that both need to win. But just like the Trick Melo match, this is a match that neither man can afford to lose, because just like with the Trick Melo match, whoever loses is going to lose a lot, is going to lose all credibility. And honestly, Dragunov has been champion since what? Since No Mercy? So 6 months. He's been champion for 6 months. And I never would have imagined that Dragunov would have lasted this long. But think about this. The last time he was a champion in WWE, he had defeated Gunther to become NXT UK champion. And he held the title for 8 months? Yeah. No. Oh wait. No. If I remember correctly, he held the title for about 6 months, and he ended up having to give it up due to injury. Now, this is a match that Dragunov had, that Dragunov needs to win. But this is a match as well that Tony D'Angelo needs to win as well. At this point, it's kind of hard to say because you got two fan favorites going at it for the NXT title. At this point, it's hard to say who wins. But if I had to, if I was a betting man, I would put my money on the Dawn of NXT, Tony D'Angelo. I think Tony D is gonna have that upper hand against Dragunov, mainly because of the fact that he's got the rest of the D'Angelo family. But we will have to wait and see this Saturday. But with that being said, guys, that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more premium live event predictions and results in the future, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. My ads will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.